Hi everyone, this is Mike Gordon. Well, Christmas is right around the corner, so I decided to make a few announcements. Before we begin, I'd like to give a shout out to my subscribers for reaching the 50 subscriber mark. I know I'm a month late on the shout out here, but I do wish to express my gratitude to each and every one of you. Remember, if you like my content, leave a like and comment on my channel as well. Any sort of feedback, may it be positive or negative, is highly appreciated. Don't forget to spread the word about my channel as well. May we reach the 100 subscriber mark by the end of next year. With all that out of the way, let's begin. First off, to celebrate the seasonal festivities as well as to show my gratitude to all of you, I've decided to compile a wish list of Sega Genesis games here on Perfect Playthroughs. Most of these games are recommendations, though I may throw in a couple surprises here and there. I originally planned to cover these games all through December leading up to Christmas. I even finished filming a good chunk of these playthroughs already. But as my deadline drew near, I started to think, who opens their Christmas presents early? If anything, we'd only open one present on Christmas Eve and all the rest the very next day. I mean, sure, if they were going to spoil, I'd open them the night before. But for the sake of Christmas tradition, I decided to postpone my Christmas marathon until Christmas. Still, if you'd like to make any further requests for what game you want me to play, you've got until the 25th. Once Santa comes down that chimney, that's it. Whatever games I cover, that will be it. As an aside, no, I'm not doing a perfect playthrough of Columns. Max level and points would take way too long to achieve, there's no kill screen, and you can't even beat the game. I'm only playing the game to give you guys something to look at, as well as to cross off an additional Sega Genesis game off the list. Now that we've got the Sega Genesis stuff out of the way, let's address my unfinished perfect playthroughs. Starting off with Final Fantasy VI Advance, progress has been very slow. Hard to work on it with Xenogears Castlevania month and my Christmas wish list to work on, but I always knew the final grind in this game was going to take a really long time to finish. So far I have at least 32 of every farmable item in the game. I am almost maxed out on Thornlets. So for what it's worth, I am making progress here. That's one of the perks of emulation. Just load up your save file in the exact same frame every single time, and you'll get the exact same Soul Shrine encounters each and every time. Speaking of my Xenogears perfect playthrough, between my Disc 2 grinding and school, I have yet to finish the final couple episodes of my perfect playthrough. It's kind of the reason I decided to work on Castlevania month as well as the Christmas wishlist. I simply didn't have time to grind endlessly, and I was concerned that I wouldn't be able to finish in time. But now that the semester is by all accounts over and done with, I'm going right back to my grind. Having learned from my mistakes with my Final Fantasy VI run, I made sure to get as close to the very end of the game during my month-long hiatus back in August as I possibly could. I theorized that this could be a 50-51 episode series, minus any post-game episodes I may work on later. But regardless, I intend to end the main campaign of Xenogears by the end of January. So then, what happens next? What happens after Xenogears? I obviously won't be able to finish the final episode of Final Fantasy VI by then, so I have to come up with a few things. Well, after the Christmas wishlist, Perfect Playthrough 50 will be right around the corner, so I'm very clearly going to have to fill in the extra space somehow. Well, I have a few ideas for multi-part playthroughs, maybe one or two single episode playthroughs. But beyond that, I do plan on making sure that each and every one of my past perfect playthroughs is as close to thoroughly finished as humanly possible. Final Fantasy VI and Xenogears are my top priority, but a good chunk of my past playthroughs didn't exactly have every single aspect of them covered. For example, Sonic 2's multiplayer, Golden Axe and Streets of Rage extra features, Truxton's 5 consecutive campaigns, and Konami's best endings locked behind expert mode. I'm also not terribly proud of some of my earlier runs where I wound up relying so heavily on cheats to get by. Ghouls and Ghosts, The Lion King, Friday the 13th, and Super Thunderblade are all fairly egregious examples of cheated runs on my end, and I can't help but apologize for my indiscretions. That, and I muted the music for The Lion King, and its soundtrack is taken straight from the original movie itself. Even if it was done out of fear for Disney's draconian false flagging bots, that's just plain inexcusable. So to summarize, I'm delaying the Christmas marathon until after Christmas to keep within the spirit of the holidays. I plan on wrapping up the main story of Xenogears by the end of January. Progress with Final Fantasy VI has been really slow, but I'm still putting in the work whenever possible. In the lead up to my 50th perfect playthrough, I plan on revisiting a good chunk of my past playthroughs so I can, in essence, truly accomplish everything they have to offer. But beyond all that, I wish to keep the contents of both my Christmas wishlist and my 2023 plans a secret. Well, okay, I still haven't decided on what my 50th playthrough should be. Maybe when Xenogears wraps up, I'll put up a poll to see what selection I ought to go for. But I will say this much, I intend for it to be yet another RPG. And just like with Xenogears, I intend to play it on real hardware, no emulation. It makes sense, I mean, my subscriber count pretty much blew up because of Xenogears, and Perfect Playthrough was designed specifically for lengthy titles like Xenogears, Final Fantasy VI, and Sonic 3 and Knuckles, all of which are the primary contributors to my view and subscriber growth the past 2 years. Well, that's all I have here today for announcements. As I said before, thank you for helping me reach the 50 subscriber mark. I greatly appreciate your support. If you're not subscribed to my channel already, be sure to hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to ring on the bell if you wish to be notified for future content. And of course, like and comment my videos if you haven't already. Even if it's negative, I greatly appreciate your input all the same. With all that out of the way, this is Mike Gorin signing out.